Monday morning at the Chemco plant in Mount Pleasant, a storage tank ruptured a seam, releasing a long plume of toxic chlorine gas into the community. The night shift at the plant was immediately evacuated. 2,000 local residents were evacuated to shelters around the county. At 2 p.m. today, the residents were allowed to return to their homes after the Health Department and the County Air Quality Board gave the all-clear signal. Chemco officials met in closed sessions all day today and emerged just a few moments ago with an announcement for the press. County reporter Brenda Jones is standing by at Chemco with an update.
Just moments ago, Chemco Vice President of Public Relations, Glenn Burney, appeared at the other side of the gate with a written statement for the press and concerned residents. Mr. Burney stated Chemco will be holding a press briefing tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 with company officials and union representatives. He then made a one-sentence statement, said thank you, and walked back into the plant. I guess that means we'll all have to wait until tomorrow to ask the question that's on everyone's mind today. Is this plant safe? I'm Brenda Jones, live at Chemco for Metro News. Now back to you, Sally.
Thank you, Brenda. We'll be following this story as it develops. We'll be back with more of today's news after these messages.
Damn company, you'd think they'd have the courtesy to call and ask if we'd like to appear at the press conference with them.
Apparently, they figure we have no choice but to appear.
Or they think that they could make us stand with them on this.
Well, from this, we just about have to show up.
Oh, I think you got that a little bit backwards. If we sit up there at that press conference tomorrow, it's going to be to our definite disadvantage.
In what way?
We'll be sitting ducks. We'll be sharing the blame. It'll look like it's as much the union's fault as it is the company's.
Well, now that they've announced it to the world, if we don't sit up there with them, we'll look like deserters.
Yeah, well, we may have to sit up there with them, but we certainly don't have to agree with them. The stakes are a lot higher now. I mean, our jobs are on the line. What with the community screaming to shut the plant down?
So what else is new? Hey, we've always been the ones at risk. If this plant ever went up, it'd take most of us with it.
Exactly. We know the place is unsafe. The question is how unsafe. And we need to make it our business to find out.
Yeah, but now it's everybody's business. I just spent 36 hours in a shelter with a bunch of my neighbors, and we don't even know whether our homes will ever be safe again.
Personally, I don't see what the big deal is. A little gas leaked. People had to sit in shelters for a few hours. There was no loss of property, life, or even any major health scare.
Oh, yeah? It's only been 24 hours.
Look, insurance money will be distributed for the inconvenience, and in a couple of weeks it'll be business as usual.
Not around here. Not after yesterday.
Irma, do you really think it's that bad?
Obviously, you guys don't get it. This community is uptight. People are scared to death. Everybody's talking about shutting this plant down.
Hey, well, look, what we need to do is decide what the union's position is on this before the press conference, which, by the way, is tomorrow afternoon. Seems to me like we're caught in a perfect squeeze play.
Yeah, but this gas release is not the first time that people have been up in arms. They've been worried that their water's contaminated for months.
Frankly, I care about what's in my water, but I care more about paying my water bill. My job comes first. So I still think we have to appear with a company.
And I think we've got to stay cool. We find out what the other members are thinking, and we need to buy some time.
Hey, no! What we need to buy is some safety.
Good evening. In tonight's top story, a Chemco company official was shouted down by members of the community, angry over the chlorine gas leak which forced the evacuation of more than 2,000 people earlier this week. Glenn Burney, Public Relations Vice President at Chemco, was continuously heckled as he tried to reassure local residents that the leak was an isolated incident and that the plant was safe. Brenda Jones reports.
The day started early for these demonstrators who arrived before 8 this morning to protest what they call a total whitewash of the chlorine leak last Monday that occurred at the Chemco plant just about a mile down the road. A few demonstrators have been manning the picket line since last Tuesday, but today their numbers multiplied. Today is the official corporate briefing, and these concerned residents want to make sure that their side of the story is being heard. But the emotion outside was only a foreshadowing of what happened at the company briefing later in the day. Glenn Burney, Vice President of Public Relations, met with the press and members of the community to discuss their concerns.
Where were you, Sonny? This corporation has operated for 31 years. without an injury due to an environmental spill or leak.
Until Monday. Yeah.
We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience that may have occurred because you had to stay overnight in the shelters.
If you had to spend the night in the shelter, or if your kids had to drink this water, or if your wife had to breathe this air, you might choose a better word than inconvenience.
Yeah. We appreciate your concerns, sir, and they are the concerns of everyone in this community. But I can assure you, and I have the Board of Health backing you on this.
I want to see a Board of Health representative here.
There is no cause for alarm. Are we here for a discussion or what?
The union refused to comment at today's briefing, but announced that they will be making their own statement tomorrow. For Metro News, this is Brenda Jones.